The screen fades into darkness. A soft ticking sound fills the silence like a clock counting down. Suddenly, camera flashes cut through the black bright, sharp, blinding. The faint outline of New York City glimmers against the night sky. Deep voiceover begins. It's been 20 years since the fashion world was turned upside down, and now the queen is ready to return. The sound of high heels striking marble echoes. A glossy magazine cover falls onto a desk. The name Runway splashed across the front. The audience is immediately pulled back into the glamorous but ruthless world they once knew. The trailer begins with slow, dramatic shots of Manhattan at dusk. The skyline is bathed in golden light, but beneath the beauty is tension. The voiceover continues, steady and commanding. Fashion has always been about power. But in a world ruled by trends that last seconds, who holds the crown now? Quick. Flashes appear runway show where models walk under blinding lights, camera shutters firing like gunshots, and the chaos of paparazzi shouting outside a velvet rope. The sound design is sharp, layered with the pulse of a low, haunting piano. Text fades across the screen, 20 years later. The camera cuts to a sleek office building. Inside, the sound of a door opening. A pair of silver heels steps into view. The camera pans upward slowly but never shows the face fully, just a silhouette, unmistakably powerful. The voiceover whispers, "Some legends never fade." Cut to black. A sudden flash reveals Miranda Priestly, Meryl Streep, sitting in silence behind a glass desk, her eyes cold and calculating. She doesn't speak. Instead, the screen lingers on her expression, sharp as ever, before snapping to black again. The music swells. And the first emotional punch lands on Sachs Anne Hathaway on a rooftop, looking down at the city. Her expression, torn between nostalgia and determination. She's no longer the assistant running for coffee. She's now someone in control. But the pause in her eyes says it all. Power comes with a price. The montage quickens. Emily Charlton, Emily Blunt. Striding through an airport, paparazzi trailing her, her face lit up on giant billboards. She's no longer in the background, she is the brand now. But just as quickly, we see her throw a glass down in anger during a private meeting. Her ambition is fiery as ever. The music drops again. Miranda's voice finally cuts through the noise, measured, cold, unforgettable. The world may have changed, but power never goes out of style. Her words hang heavy as the screen fades to black. The sound of a typewriter key strikes, then dash silence. Asterisk, the city wakes. We see a series of quick shots. Newspapers tossed on doorsteps, subway doors slamming shut, coffee cups stacked in hands rushing toward tall glass towers. But among the crowd, a single magazine cover slides into focus. Andy Sachs's face, bold, confident, framed with the words "Editor-in-Chief." The screen lingers. The voiceover sharpens. She was once the girl who carried the coats. Now, she carries the crown. Andy walks through her bustling office, sleek and composed. Phones ring, assistants hurry past, screens flash with breaking headlines. She offers a rare smile, but her eyes reveal the weight of endless responsibility. A younger assistant calls after her, dropping papers in panic. Andy pauses, the faintest flicker of recognition in her expression. She sees herself 2 decades ago, lost in the whirlwind. She doesn't say a word, but her silence is louder than any advice. Cut a burst of flashing lights. Emily Charlton steps out of a luxury car, dressed head to toe in her own brand. Her name is now a global empire. The crowd screams her name as cameras click in rapid fire. For a moment, she basks in it. The girl once overlooked now commands every room she enters. Yet when the camera lingers just a little longer, we see her face tighten. Her phone buzzes, her eyes darken at a message unseen to the audience. Ambition still burns, but so does something sharper, resentment. The piano grows deeper. A shadow falls across Emily's face. The voiceover whispers, "Success is never enough." Not when she still remembers who stood above her. Cut again, a glass of champagne. Bubbles in slow motion before the shot shifts to Miranda Priestly's penthouse. She stands in front of a vast window, the city stretching beneath her like a chessboard. She is older, but her posture unbroken, her gaze unyielding. The room is silent, except for the faint sound of heels clicking on marble as an assistant rushes. In with a folder? Miranda doesn't turn, doesn't blink. She simply raises a hand, dismissive, commanding.
Yes.
The assistant freezes mid-step, lowers the folder, and retreats. A slow zoom on Miranda's face. A whisper of a smirk. The voiceover cuts sharp. The legend never steps aside. She waits for the world to need her again. The screen explodes into motion, runway lights flaring. Magazines spinning in the air, digital headlines racing across screens. A storm of images. Andy, at a board meeting arguing with investors. Emily signing contracts with rivals. Miranda's eyes narrowing as she closes a glossy portfolio. Then silence. A single shot. Miranda turning her head toward the camera for the torta. First time. Her voice low, sharp, final. Did you really think I was finished? The words hit like a knife, just as the music surges back in with pounding drums and a shattering crescendo of camera flashes. Black screen. The game has changed. Asterisk, the screen jolts to life with chaos. Press conference erupts in flashes of light. Reporters shout questions. Microphones jostle forward. Headlines spin across the screen in bold, sharp text. Print is dead? Digital fashion empires rising. The old guard under fire? Andy steps onto a stage, her magazine logo blazing behind her. She smiles, but the pressure leaks through in the tapping of her fingers against the podium. Her voice is firm, calm, yet edged with fire. Print is not dying, it is transforming, and Runway will lead that transformation. The crowd explodes with applause, but before the sound settles, the trailer cuts. Emily sits in a dim boardroom, her name flashing across giant digital screens. She is sleek, untouchable, her empire spanning apps, streaming fashion shows, and influencer contracts. She looks directly into the camera, as though addressing Andy herself. The future doesn't wait for the past to catch up. Her team laughs softly around her, champagne glasses clinking. But Emily's eyes betray something else, a hunger sharpened by years of standing in Miranda's shadow. The piano begins again. Heavier, darker, a sudden silence. Miranda Priestly enters a gala hall, every head turning. She does not speak. She does not need to. With one glance, she commands the room. Her old allies whispered nervously, unsure if her presence is an omen or a warning. The voiceover slices through. In a war between old power and new ambition, only one empire can survive. Montage cuts. Andy arguing with a tech investor as digital screens flicker around her. Emily signing a secret deal, her pen striking paper with fury. Paparazzi swarming, rumors flooding, tabloids, hashtags trending at lightning speed. Then an unexpected shot. Miranda, at home, silent, staring at a stack of fading runway issues. She flips a cover slowly. Her reflection stares back at her, older, but no less formidable. She places the magazine down with care, her hand resting like it's a chess piece being moved into position. The music rises, sharper now, like a heartbeat racing. Andy and Emily appear on split screen, both giving interviews, both declaring their vision, both insisting they are the future. Their words overlap, chaotic, colliding. The screen cuts to black. A single phrase fades in, white on black. Legacy versus innovation. And then Miranda's voice slices the silence, colder than ever. Children fight for crowns. Queens simply wear them. The sound of a shutter flash. Thunderous applause. Asterisk again. Asterisk, the music softens. A haunting piano drifts as the chaos fades. The screen glows with warm light, a rare moment of calm. Andy sits alone in her apartment, the city stretching endlessly outside her window. Her phone buzzes again and again, but she doesn't answer. She stares at a single photograph on her desk, her younger self, wide-eyed and hopeful, standing behind Miranda all those years ago. The voiceover murmurs. She thought she left this world behind, but ambition never lets go. Emily stands in front of a mirror, adjusting the collar of a flawless dress. Cameras await her just outside. but her face trembles for a second. Her hand gripping the vanity tighter than it should, she whispers, almost too quiet to hear, "I've earned this. I deserve this." The reflection looks back at her like a rival. The applause of her empire feels hollow in that silence. The piano deepens. The images grow heavier. A family dinner. Andy's partner speaks with warmth, but her chair sits empty. She's still at the office, drowning in deadlines. Child's voice asks, "Is mommy coming?" The question hangs unanswered as the screen fades to black. Emily, in another corner of the world, pushes away a glass of wine at a crowded gala. The music around her roars, but she feels alone, her gaze fixed on Miranda across the room. Miranda. Calm, unshaken, as though daring her to blink first, then dash silence. Miranda stands in her study, the skyline burning behind her. For the first time, her voice softens, carrying a weight almost human. The cost of power is everything. And still, we pay it. The montage strikes faster now. Andy slamming a magazine cover on the table, her voice breaking as she argues with her board. Emily clutching her phone, her face falling as she reads a betrayal too sharp to reveal. Miranda walking down a runway. Backstage models parting like shadows as she passes, her presence still commanding the stage without saying a word. The trailer erupts with speed. Shh. No more calm piano. Now it's pounding drums, camera shutters firing like gunfire, and the roar of a runway crowd. Models stride under white-hot lights, their gowns sweeping like blades across the floor. The screen fractures into chaos, magazine covers spinning, headlines screaming, digital hashtags racing across phones. Andy storms into a boardroom, papers slamming against polished wood. Her voice shakes with fury. "We are not relics. We are." The voice of fashion itself. Her team looks divided, whispers rising. One young executive leans back, smirking. Voices don't matter anymore. Screens do. Cut. Emily on a private jet, her face lit by blue screens as influencers flash across her empire's digital feed. She claps once sharply, and her assistants scramble to show her the latest metrics. But her victory looks fragile. The shadows under her eyes reveal exhaustion, and beneath the glamour, a dangerous obsession simmers. Suddenly, Miranda's voice slices through the noise calm. Deadly. Power is not earned by followers. It is taken by fear. The screen shatters into a montage of confrontations. Andy and Emily colliding at a gala, champagne spilling as their words clash unheard under deafening music. Miranda watching from a balcony above, expression unreadable, like a queen observing. Pawns in battle. Rival designers screaming backstage as shows collapse under sabotage. Cameras catching tears, betrayals, and whispered deals behind closed doors. The drums grow louder, faster, till each cut feels like a heartbeat about to burst. Andy runs through a rain-soaked street, headlines flashing across giant LED billboards, above her runway in crisis. Emily throws a contract down onto a desk, shouting words we can't hear. Miranda walks silently through a room of trembling assistants, each one scattering like shadows before a storm. The voiceover tightens, breathless, ambition breaks, loyalty fades. And even legends must bleed. A final series of brutal flashes. Andy collapsing into a chair, face buried in her hands. Emily screaming into the night from the rooftop of her empire. Miranda standing alone in a silent runway hall, the lights dimming one by one until only her silhouette remains. Then black screen, silence. And in that silence, three words echo like thunder. It's war now. The audience is left breathless. As the screen ignites with fire-red text, asterisk, the screen fades back in from black. The chaos is gone. Only silence remains. A long pause, just the faint sound of a typewriter key striking once, echoing in the dark. Then a door creaks open. A runway lit only by a single spotlight stretches ahead. Miranda Priestly steps into frame, her silhouette crisp, her walk deliberate. She stops, the heels of her shoes echoing like a gavel hitting stone. The camera never shows her face fully only. Fragments, the curve of her jaw, The glint of her silver hair, the shadow of her eyes. A hush falls over the room. Her voice emerges, slow and merciless. Fashion isn't about clothes, it's about control. Cut to Andy. She stands in a newsroom, face hardened, whispering almost to herself. Then it's time to take it back. Quick flash. Quick flash. Emily appears on a balcony above a roaring crowd, her empire's name glowing behind her in neon light. She smirks, her words sharp as glass. Only one of us can sit on the throne. The music slams back, in-strings shrieking, drums crashing, building into a thunderous wave. Montage. Andy striding down a hallway, her team behind her like soldiers. Emily throwing open the doors of a fashion show, cameras flooding her with light. Miranda standing alone in an elevator, the doors closing slowly. Her face unreadable, but her eyes unyielding. Then everything cuts to black. A single flash of white text fills the screen. The devil returns. One final shot. Miranda turns her head toward the camera at last, the faintest smirk curling on her lips. She whispers, barely audible, yet sharp enough to cut glass. That's all. The screen slams shut with the title card. The black screen lingers, as if the trailer has ended. Then, a single note of piano breaks the silence, the same haunting motif from the first film. Slow, familiar, icy, the sound of a door creaking open echoes in the dark. A spotlight flicks on, revealing an empty runway stretching into infinity. The lights above hum to life, one by one, chasing the darkness down the catwalk. Each bulb clicks like a heartbeat. At the far end of the runway, a chair sits alone. Draped across it a pristine white coat. The camera moves closer, step by step, the coat glowing like a crown waiting for its rightful heir. Just before the shot reaches its lamb, the lights cut out. Total black. The voiceover returns, quieter than a whisper, but unmistakable. Power isn't given, it's taken. Sudden flash. Andy's hand gripping a magazine, her knuckles white, Emily's eyes blazing under neon light. Miranda's profile in the shadows unmoving, eternal. Then silence again. One final image bursts onto the screen, a single glossy runway cover flipping onto a desk. The cover doesn't reveal who is on it, just a blurred silhouette, leaving. The question hanging the camera shutter fires once. Crisp and final, the screen cuts to the title card. Glowing like a brand stamped into steel, The Devil Wears Prada to coming 2026, the piano motif returns for one last note then fades, leaving only the faint echo of heels clicking away into the void.